Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking, hopefully kind of quickly, about 5 romances that I want to read during the fall season. It is no secret that I love romance. So, I haven't been making TBRs the last couple of months because I just never end up following them. But I do have 5 books right here that I'm going to talk about that I want to prioritize during the fall and hopefully read. Not hopefully, definitely read. I am reading all of these, or else I will be very angry with myself and upset. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right in. 5 romances that I want to read. So the first book that I have on this romance TBR is Twisted Games. This is the second book in the Twisted series. I read Twisted Love a couple months ago and really enjoyed it. Wasn't my favorite romance ever. I gave it 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. I loved it. I loved the main characters. But I've heard that the series gets better with every book. So I do have very high hopes for this. This follows some side characters from the first book, Bridget and Reese, who is Bridget's bodyguard. Bridget is a princess from a very, very small country, I believe. So this does have the bodyguard trope in it. I haven't read a ton of books with that trope, I don't think. I'm not even sure if I think I've read one book by Talia Hibbert that had the bodyguard trope in it. So very new to it. I'm excited to get to this one. I have heard just the best things about this series in general, and I do feel like I'm missing out on the hype still because I've only read the first book, and so many people are just raving about the rest of the series. So to give a very brief synopsis of this one, this is about Reese, who is Bridget's bodyguard. He has 2 rules. He's very good at what he does because he follows these 2 rules all the time: to protect his clients at whatever the cost, and to never get emotionally involved with them. Vows to never, no emotions ever. But being with Bridget changes that. Bridget, who is very stubborn, very strong-willed, starts getting feelings for her bodyguard, and yeah, that's what this one's about. The second book that I have on my fall romance TBR is Wicked Lies Boys Tell by Kay Webster. This is a male enemies to lovers / bully romance. Kay Webster does tend to write pretty taboo books. I've read 3 or 4 things by the author and have enjoyed them overall. So I did go ahead and grab another one by the author because they are not available on Kindle Unlimited. Sad day, it's fine. This is about Copeland Justice, who is the main character's enemy, my once best friend, the sadist in my heart, plucking and pulling at every thread of who I am until I'm unraveled at his feet. His mouth says he hates me, his eyes burn with animosity for me, his heart beats for someone else. But Copeland Justice is the best liar of us all. This is a pretty short book, so I'm not anticipating it taking me too long to get through. It sounds fantastic. I cannot wait to get to this one. Kay Webster is very much a queen of taboo romance, so I'm hoping that this gives me all those vibes. The third book that I have in this pile is Misfit by L. Kennedy. This has the prep school trope in it. Bad boy falls for headmaster's daughter. He attends an all-boys boarding school for rich delinquents, rich people who get in trouble a lot. So definitely a bad boy, wants to win the girl's heart. I don't know if I said this, but this book did come out very recently. I believe it came out at the end of July. I did get it on its release date, so I've had it on my shelf for a couple weeks now. So not very much a backlist book yet, but I do want to get to it because I do love Elle Kennedy and I do want to read all of her books, and this one is one that I own. So I do want to get to it in the next couple months during fall. The fourth book that I want to read is A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. I've been meaning to read this book for months, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. This is a historical romance with a trans main character. It's the friends to lovers trope, which isn't always my favorite, but I did read Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall 2 years ago, I think, and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to grab this one when it came out. I do love a good historical romance. I have heard amazing things about this one. Am I bummed that it's not formatted in the mass market, historical romance format? It's fine, I'll get over it. But I am looking forward to this one. I'm just going to read a little bit of the back because it always does a better job explaining the synopsis than I do. So, this says, when Viola Carroll was presumed dead at Waterloo, she took the opportunity to live, at last, as herself. But freedom does not come without a price, and Viola paid for hers with the loss of her wealth, her title, and her closest companion, Justin de Vere, the Duke of Gracewood. Only when their families reconnect, years after the war, does Viola learn how deep that loss truly was. Shattered without her, Gracewood has retreated so far into grief that Viola barely recognizes her old friend and the lonely, brooding man he has become. I'm gonna start crying already, it's fine. As Viola strives to bring Gracewood back to himself, fresh desires give new names to old feelings. Feelings that would have been impossible once and may be impossible still, but which Viola cannot deny, even if they cost her everything all over again. It just sounds amazing. Reading the synopsis in full definitely makes me want to reach for this one first. I don't tend to read the synopsis of my books before going into them. I do like reading reviews about books. I like figuring out what the tropes are by maybe skimming the synopsis, but I do like going in without knowing a ton. However, knowing a ton more about this one than I did a minute ago makes me even more excited for this book. And then the fifth and final book that I have on this fall romance want to read list, although I will most definitely be reading more than these 5 during the fall season, is Medicine Man by Saffron A. Kent. This will be my first book by the author. This is also kind of taboo. This has the psychiatrist patient trope. So it's about Willa, who lives in this castle, which is a psychiatric hospital, and it houses a bunch of patients, and she falls for her psychiatrist, who is cold and distant, whose voice drips with authority, and whose piercing gray eyes hide secrets and maybe linger on her face for a second too long. I love a good taboo romance. This one sounds amazing. I have heard pretty mixed things about this author, just with different series that they've written, but I think this one sounds phenomenal. I am in love with this alternate cover hardback. It's stunning. If I do end up loving this one, I'm definitely going to purchase the other books. I think there's 2 more in this series, and then there's another series, I forget what it's called, that has similar cover art in like the alternative hardback format, if that made any sense at all. So I'll probably slowly build up my collection of Saffron A. Kent, but I really love the hardback, love the naked hardback without the dust jacket. It's stunning. This one sounds so good too. Honestly, these all sound amazing. And the text in this one is pretty big too, so I anticipate it being a very quick and easy read. All of these books that I have right here are definitely going to be tabbed and annotated as I read them. That is something that I am very much doing on a more consistent basis, especially when it does come to romance. I think that romance is the perfect genre to tab, to underline, to write in. So I plan to do that with all of these. I do have a whole cup full filled with tabs. I will definitely be utilizing them when I read these books. If you've read any of these and want to command me to read a certain one first, feel free to comment down below and let me know. As of right now, I've heard great things about all of these books on Goodreads, on social media, whatever, but I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on them and maybe help me pick which one to read first, although I am kind of leaning toward A Lady for a Duke now, but Twisted Games is also high up there, and so is Medicine Man, and the other two. Really, I don't know where to start. So feel free to comment down below and let me know what I should read first. Honestly, even if you haven't read any of these, feel free to shout out a title in the comments, whether it's based off the cover or the tropes or the synopsis. These all sound amazing. I freaking love romance. So I am very much looking forward to diving into all of these over the next couple of months, hoping that I love all of them. But maybe once I read all of them, I'll do a video talking about each one to kind of wrap up my TBR, like a wrap up of this video. Words are just, anyway, it's fine. So thank you all so much for watching this fall romance TBR video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.